Hello, everybody. Welcome to another vintage cube draft. Couple good options to start. I think it's secretly an option to take Luris. It's like kind of weird to lead on this card, but it's really good. I think if you can meet the restriction, usually some combination of Mardu aggro will get there. So that's a consideration. I don't think I'll take it here, but underratedly first pickable card. Prismatic Fist is nice for fixing. Then there's Remand. I think that's probably the best of the interactive spells. Like Remand and Flame Slash are both pretty good. But I think I like just taking the Prismatic Vista here. Nothing here is so strong that it makes me really want to commit to that color combination or color combination. And this way, like, we can just see what gets opened and then go in whichever direction looks the most promising. If Lurrus comes around, I'll be happy and go in that direction. But let's just take Prismatic Vista to start. Okay, I think similarly I'm just going to take Arid Mesa here. Remain open. There's a couple good burn spells, maybe one of those wheels. If we'd taken the Lurrus, we would probably just take one of the burn spells here. But yeah, pretty easy Arid Mesa. I'm happy to lead on 2 fetch lands for sure. Alright. So we could take Inspiring Vantage and just have a good mana for Boros. I think I like taking the 3rd pick Mother of Runes though. That's kind of a signal. It's a good card. You don't see it going 3rd always. It's like, we could certainly take this, but we already have good fixing for Boros. Yeah, I think I'd just like doing this. Hopefully Lurrus Wheels. If we could end up being like a Boros Lurrus deck, that would be sweet. We get the aggression of like a low to the ground, low curve Boros deck, plus some late game inevitability from the companion. But yeah, I'm just gonna take the Mother of Runes here. Tidal Scholar is also okay, but let's take this. And now we see a pack that has no good white cards, so that's a little strange. What is even in this pack? These cards are... there's 4 creatures that cost like tons of mana. Could take Leyline Binding. Could take Dam. Could take Bone Shards. Really weak pack. I think I'm actually gonna take the Binding here. It could even take Molten Collapse, weirdly. Because it's very good for like if we end up being Mardu. And we have good fixing for Mardu. That's like sort of hoping that the Lurrus comes around. We have good ways to descend, though, to get some extra value out of this. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take this. We'll see if we can get there on Mardu Lurrus. Now I'll take a Scalding Tarn. Nice pickup. A lot of good cards here, actually, but Scalding Tarn is the best. And I don't think I want to be mono white. Like, we could take Intrepid Adversary, but that doesn't seem like a great plan. So, hoping to be a Mardu aggro deck. I mean, I guess we don't even need Lurrus to be a Mardu aggro deck, but that would definitely help a lot. Really, I'm not committed to any of the spells, though. I'm just happy to have 3 fetch lands, and we'll see what happens. Like, if I saw Renin 6 here, I might just take that and abandon ship on all the stuff we've taken so far. Whoa, okay, so a couple very different directions we could go here. If we want to stay in the aggressive lane, we could just take Lion Sash or Beaumont Courier. We could also just take Omnath, though. And I kind of like that. With 3 fetch lands already, Omnath looks pretty good. Take this and maybe try to wheel Field of the Dead. It's a very different angle, but again, 3 fetch lands, that does seem like it sort of enables that plan pretty well. Yeah, I'm going to try that. Omnath, get in here. We'll see. This might not end up being the way we go, but I like keeping the option open. Now we can take Ranger Captain of Eos or Badlands. I'm going to take Badlands. This sets us up well with just like all of the mana. Again, I wouldn't fault someone for, like, there's even Najila here. Maybe we can wheel that. I wouldn't fault someone for just, like, wanting to be mono white and keeping it straightforward, but this is definitely high upside. There's Soul of Windgrace. Do we just go in? Man, that's, it's kind of a rogue move, but I'm kind of feeling it. We're gonna be the rare Omnath Soul of Windgrace deck? Yeah, we're going for it. Let's try this. Like, to be honest, I think the win maximizing move is maybe just taking, like, Questing Druid or Wedding Announcement, but I think this seems really sweet. These cards work great together, and I want to give it a try. Okay, now we can take Witherbloom Command, Flame Slash, or Boseiju. I think we're not playing Mother of Runes most likely at this point. I honestly think I want to just take the Flame Slash here. Actually, no, Witherbloom Command looks good. It looks pretty good. With all these fetch lands to return, yeah, we'll take this. Now I will take Burst Lightning, though. Man, what is going on here? There. Burst Lightning looks nice. Shorikai is okay, but I need some cheap interaction if I'm gonna play a deck with it that has the risk of being kind of clunky. Okay, which one of these lands do we want? They're both white, so do we prefer a red land or a green land? I think I prefer a red land here slightly. Let's just play Burst Lightning. Either one seems fine. Okay, Leyland Binding looks great if we're playing five colors. These cards are all bad. Let's take Intrepid Adversary, I think. Okay, Molten Cloth actually does look good. Yeah, this card should be back in here. So, yeah, hopefully it's going to be five color. We have a decent mana base with three fetch lands. I would like to get some more fetchable lands. Nice, Field of the Dead Wheel. That's a great late pickup. Kind of awkward because it doesn't cast a lot of our spells. It doesn't cast Command, Molten Collapse, or Omnath, and it only kind of casts Soul of Windgrace, but still. If we're playing five colors, I think it's worth playing. Yeah, good start. I would love to get a Golos. That's a good payoff for this sort of archetype. Then just like more good, cheap interaction would be nice. Some of the planeswalkers, like the multicolored planeswalkers, would be pretty powerful as well. Rampaging Raptor is actually not bad. I don't think I'm gonna main deck it, but it could get in there in some certain matchups. Okay, wow. A lot of spicy options here. Mana Drain is broken. There's Emrakul and Sneak Attack in the same pack, so we could take one and try to wield the other. Um, Seasoned Power Match is great. Bring the Light is nice, and I think we're going to try to wield that. Talisman of Dominance is okay. Honestly, I'm just going to take Tundra. We can fetch that off of all of our fetch lands. It helps the mana a lot. Looks like we might be base Jund, but we're going to be playing some blue and some white almost certainly. Yeah, let's just take this and wield the Bring the Light. Okay, there's Stomping Ground, Urza Saga, Golgari Rot Farm. A lot of, once again, a lot of options. I guess that is what happens when you play five colors, though. Let's just take Stomping Ground. I'm gonna really prioritize the fixing here. Like, yeah, I know I have more lands than spells at this point, but I want that to be the case. Let's take this. So right now we have eight lands, four cheap removal spells, and then two pretty awesome land-focused threats. Seems like a good place to be. I don't think any of these cards on the sideboard look too good. Okay. I don't think we're a Narset deck. Just based on power level, Thoughtseize is the strongest card. There's also Baleful Strix and Reprieve. I think I should just take Thoughtseize here. Yeah, it's just the best card. I want this form of interactions. This is looking like a deck that's gonna have good ways to kill stuff. Like we're gonna have ways to deal with our creatures and planeswalkers and all that stuff, but we're not gonna be as good at dealing with like their hand. Like Reanimator could be a tough matchup, and Thoughtseize goes a long way for that. Wow, this is why you take all the lands. So now when there's a million good spells, you can take whatever you want. Tons of cards look good here. I mean, I'm mostly looking at the two planeswalkers. I love the land, Oliphant, looting, lots of good stuff here. But what do we think is better between Grist and Teferi? Um, Teferi is, I think, probably a slightly stronger card in the abstract. Um, I think I'm just gonna take this. Grist is good. I think it might wheel though, because we got a late Witherbloom command. And even if it doesn't wheel, I mean, the problem is there's a lot of good Jeskai stuff. Like, if we take Grist, we'll probably wheel a good Jeskai card. But these are really just red cards. They're not Jeskai. Yeah, let's take Teferi. I think this is just the best card here. Kind of close. Okay, there's Crucible of Worlds, which could be nice. There's also like Renegade Rallier, which seems maybe not great. Firebolt's a good cheap removal spell. Otari's good. Renegade Rallier is good. Um, I think I'm gonna take the Crucible of Worlds. Now that we have Crucible with some fetch lands, if we can find Fast Bond or something, we could go pretty deep. Although maybe it's just a little clunky. Maybe Renegade Rallier is like a better version of the same effect. This card can ramp us, but like this is definitely wheeling, right? Yeah, I'm gonna take the Crucible. Close pick. Wow. Okay. So Animate Dead is good, Counterspell is good, but tough on the mana. Some nice lands. I don't think I want Prismatic Omen. We could try to go really deep with Escape Shift, but that seems... I just don't think that's really a good plan. If we're gonna take there is Tribal Flames too, just to dome for 5. Not terrible. I think I like taking Scrubland though. I want to get as many good fetchable lands as possible, and we can find this off of, I guess not off of Scalding Tarn, but we can find it off of Arid Mesa. Yeah, interesting pick, but I'm gonna take the Scrubland. Okay, there is Sakura Tribe Elder. That's good if we get pretty deep on the lands thing. Could also just take like a good card though, and I think that's what I'm gonna lean towards here. Kaito is great. It's also nice for like with Crucible. Yeah, I'll just take the Kaito. I want a little bit of card draw here. Okay, I'll take Prismatic Ending now. Showdown of the Skull does more card draw, but we need a bit of like this is a great removal spell in a 5-color deck. There's also Zuran Orb. If we already had the Fast Bond, we could try to go really deep, but I think I'm just gonna take the ending here. Okay, we do wheel to Bring the Light, which seems pretty good here. Just getting like Omnath or Soul of Windgrace is a good start, and it can get better from there. There's also Seasoned Pyromancer, which is nice, but double red could be tough. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the Bring the Light. Okay, now I'll take Sylvan Library, which looks great, honestly. Talisman is also an option, but we have a lot of fetch lands to shuffle, which makes Sylvan Library a lot better. Okay, Neshoba Brawler Wield. That's kind of sweet. We'll take that. Casually, just a 2-mana 5/3. If we get Territorial Kabu, we could go more in that direction. Okay, unfortunately, Grist did not wheel, but Flametongue Kabu is also a good pickup. Interesting deck for sure. This Crucible may not get there. It's not looking amazing right now. I'd also like to get 1 or 2 more good things for Bring the Light. Oh, nice. Brain Freeze came around. Not too worried about that. Let's just take the Renegade Rallier. And then we get the Tribal Flames. Okay, so we might end up pivoting towards a little bit more of an aggressive deck. This, again, could get there. Wow, okay. A lot of good options. So Steam Vents would help with the mana a lot. There's also Golos, and there's Uro. All of which look pretty nice here. And then like Lelia, if we want to be a little bit more on the aggressive side. Path to Exile, tons of options. I think I like taking the Uro. Just like putting extra lands into play seems nice. So we could take Uro, try to wheel Golos. That's leading a bit more into the like lands plan than the aggro plan. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, Uro looks pretty nice here. Do we think Golos will wheel? It might not, but I think I'm just going to take this and hope it does. The main use of Golos outside of our style of deck, it could be good with the Wasteland Strip Mine deck, but we got the Crucible, so I'm not too worried about that. It also could be good in a Tolarian Academy deck, but the Tolarian Academy deck is probably more interested in either Spellbomb or Coveted Jewel. So I think we can take this and try to wheel Golos. Okay, now I'm going to take Lorien Revealed over Bayou. I love Lorien Revealed. Really good card. There's a Fiend's Tower and a Ponder. I think I will take the Tower. We don't have any tri-lands yet, surprisingly. So getting 1 tapped land, yeah, I think this does help the mana a reasonable amount. A lot of good cards here, but yeah, this is going to help the mana quite a bit. Now we see a fetch land, which I don't think we can pass. Territorial Kavu could be good on the wheel. A lot of blue stuff that's decent, but yeah, definitely just taking Marsh Flats here. Fetch lands are so good in this deck where we just have like a million different things to get with it. Now we see another fetch land versus Teferi. Close pick because I love Teferi, but I think actually I'm going to take the fetch. Keep in mind, like, we have Sylvan Library, we have Renegade Rallier, we have Omnath, we have Soul of Windgrace. We just have so many things that incentivize us to take fetch lands. Now our mana is just phenomenal. Yeah, definitely love the look of this. Are there any cards in the main deck that are on the chopping block? Not really. There's a Crop Rotation and a Dark Depths and a Spars Headquarters. Don't think I really care about Click or Oust too much. If we hit Thespian Stage, we could try to go deep with that, but I honestly think I'm just going to take Spars Headquarters. Maybe it's Crop Rotation. Crop rotation lets us find the Field of the Dead. That doesn't seem that important though. I'm gonna take the Spar's Headquarters. Just solidify incredible mana. Okay, so I'm not going to take this land here for sure. So Fiery Confluence, Valakut Exploration is kind of interesting. Um, Actually looks pretty good, but I think I'm still going to take Fiery Confluence just for power level. This card is just so good. Okay, Timeless Dragon, Plateau, and Tameo. I don't think we're trying to do any Doomsday shenanigans. I think I'll take the Plateau here. Yeah, having another red land is pretty helpful, given that we just took a red card. Let's say Golos here. That's a great pickup. Field of the Dead. We can spin it pretty easily. Yeah, very happy to see that on the wheel. That will be probably our go-to bring to light target now. Is this going to be a 17 land deck or an 18 land deck? Probably 17 with Lorien revealed. So we need 2 more spells. We could place a Kurt Tribe Scout, but I think it's a little underpowered. Maybe we'll bring it in on the draw. It would also be better if we had more bounce lands. Okay, I'm definitely not interested in either of these graveyard-based cards when we already have Uro, so I'll just take a Bayou. I'm not like worried about my mana base at this point, but the other cards are just not necessary. Okay, we'll take a Chart of Course now. Actually, wait. Deeproot Wayfinder seems pretty sweet. We don't have Wasteland or Curb, but we have a bunch of fetch lands. Yeah, I think this is actually the pick here. I haven't played with this card too much, but it's good in a deck like this that has lots of ways to clear the path for it. And now I'll take the Kavu. Definitely a nice pickup. I mean, all these cards are good, actually. But I think in a 5-color deck, Kavu is probably the best. Whoa, was not expecting to wield Teferi or Oust. I don't think I'm going to play Nacatl in the main deck. So, I think I'm going to cut the Crucible. It's okay, but it's a little bit clunky. We need one more cut. I kind of like all these cards. I think I'm gonna cut Oust and have like Burn be a real plan because with like Burst Lightning, Tribal Flames, Fiery Confluence, we actually like can just kill them pretty quickly. If we're getting a little bit more aggressive, does Rampaging Raptor become good? Probably not. So let's look at the colors. These mana bases are always weird. Um, okay, I think we're like base red and green slightly. And I think our mana is gonna be fine no matter what. Let's do this and see how it looks. Just want to make sure there's no color we're really lacking. So for red, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's fine. Prismatic Vista only gets 2 lands, so actually it is relevant which ones we go with. For green, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. For blue, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not this. 6. Only 6 blue, but we're pretty light on blue. I think that's fine. For white, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then for black, yeah, this mana base is fine. It's complicated, but it's fine. We could go in a more aggressive direction with Nacatl and Rampaging Raptor. We could also go in a more controlling direction with Crucible and Oust. I think this is a good plan. Just like very high card quality, lots of good interaction, some powerful multicolored threats, some aggressive creatures. Seems like a good place to be. See you in round 1. Alright, here we are for round 1. Then again, someone who recognizes the username. 10 looks okay. It's a little bit land heavy, but that's, I mean, we have Field of the Dead. We have good late game inevitability here. And then Leyline Binding looks nice. I think I am going to plan on cycling this Spar's Headquarters, especially given that we drew another land. So I'm going to lead on Tundra here, and then we can play either one of these into 2-mana Leyline Binding on turn 2. This is why I don't want to play Field of the Dead, because I want to be able to binding if we need to. Interesting. So that actually, we actually cannot cast Little Teferi off of our current mana base. I think I'm still going to hold this bar's headquarters to cycle. If we find a blue or a white land at any point, we can do it. And I think I'm more worried about just like flooding out than something else. Okay, that's fine. Do we take the 2 or do we take this out? Don't care too much about 2 damage. I think I'm just going to take it out. Or I'm just going to take the 2. Yep, down to 18. Giver of Runes, okay. I guess we need to take that out because otherwise that will stop our whatever our next removal spell is. Actually, I'll still just take the Fairy Mastermind and then just like not care about this Giver of Runes, or like maybe bounce with the Fair if we find a land, which we do. If they counter this to Fairy, so be it. It's not great, but I don't think it makes sense to just pass. Hopefully this resolves. But also, I'd rather them counter that than Big to Fairy. So next turn we're going to go Field of the Dead and cycle Spar's headquarters and then set up for turn 5, Hero of Dominaria. Spellbinder. Well, that makes our Hero of Dominaria cost a little bit more. They're down to 2 cards, but we need to find some cast. We have no spells. They choose not to attack, which really paid off. I'm just going to pass. I wish they would attack with the Giver of Runes. Alright, let's cycle this. Then hopefully find like Golos or something. Mind Collapse, interesting. And Territorial Kavu, okay. So let's just play the Territorial Kavu for now, which is huge. It's I believe, yeah, it's 5/5 right off the bat. Breathe. Okay, we're constrained on green mana, so we cannot replay it right now. We'll just pass. Our life total is still fine. I'm okay with taking another 3-point hit. They could just get a little aggressive and go for the Colonnade swing here, which would be a bit scary. Alright, they're still just hitting for 3, sure. Timeless Dragon. Okay, we can kill that. We need triple red there, so we'll play Mountain. Oh, we can't kill that because of Giver of Runes. It's a little awkward. So we need to go Fiery Confluence to kill the Giver of Runes. So 2 damage each creature, 2 damage each opponent. Then they can save their Elite Spellbinder. Then we're taking an 8-point hit. Yeah, I think we're probably gonna lose this game. Because we're dead to them top decking a land, and if they don't top deck a land, they have tons of action. They're hitting us down to 4. That's also pretty bad. Like, yeah, we can get this Territorial Kavu into play, but that's probably not going to be enough. Yeah, cannot Molten Collapse. Oh, wait. Well, we could actually just, yeah, you know what? Let's Molten Collapse. No. We could kill this, but then they just eternalize it. That seems bad. I think we need to establish a threat. But at the same time, maybe not, because next year we can play Teferi. Yeah, okay, I'm going to kill this. It's close, but I'm going to kill this. So they get to put us to 9, and then they can eternalize the Timeless Dragon, which would put them at with 7 power on board. It'd be awesome if they didn't deploy a second threat and we could play Teferi and be okay, but that seems unlikely. It would also be great if we could find a removal spell. I assume they're just eternalizing here. good draw. A little bit of life gain could go a long way here. So let's play that first. Oh, we are constrained on green mana though. I think I'm still going to play the Uro. I don't think just playing Territorial Covet or Teferi is enough to win. But now we can't do anything. Yeah, we have pass back, and we'll probably have to settle this one in games 2 and 3. Should be a pretty good matchup, I think. We just need to make sure that like we don't just take a bunch of random hits from their stuff. Next turn we can get Omnath down. Our deck gains a lot of life between Uro and Omnath. Do we want to play Oust? Probably not. They animate Colonnade and I guess on board they put us to 1. So it is theoretically possible that we could win if we just draw perfectly. Like some sort of like weird Omnath into Uro sequence. Let's play Omnath. Take a draw, but okay. Yeah. You got me. So they take down game 1, blue-white tempo. Looks like they are fairly aggressive. They're not like a full control deck, so I'm not going to bring in like Crucible of Worlds type stuff. I think Oust looks good just as another removal spell. We'll keep all the burn spells. The Shobo Brawler does seem worth it. Yeah, this should be a good matchup. I think I'll cut the library and run it like this. Alright, on the play. Hopefully this one goes a little better. This hand looks great. So we have Bant and Esperlands. I think we're just gonna get Bant here for the Windswept Teeth, and then we can play turn 2 Deeproot Wayfinder, turn 3 Ouch their blocker, and hopefully start getting some value. There's also just Surveils to fill the graveyard for the Uro. Hopefully no 1-drop from the opponent. Giver of Runes was good there. If I were them, I probably would have been attacking with the Giver of Runes earlier. But then we could have gotten a clean 2-for-1 off of the Fiery Confluence, so that might have ended up with them losing. Because we would have won the long game there for sure. We had like plenty of action in our hand. We had like the Teferi, Uro, all that stuff. So yeah, I think we would have won the long game. Alright, let's just drop this dude and pass. And this returns the land to the battlefield tapped, okay. I've not played too much with Deeproot Wayfinder, but it looks really good in this position. If we're actually just able to start dealing 2 while getting card selection and mana advantage all at the same time, that's pretty good value for a 2-drop. And if they Path to Exile this, we'll get our last basic. There's the Giver of Runes. I think I'm just going to attack. If they want to chump block, that's fine. Okay, looks like they do have the Path to Exile. Alright, we'll grab our Forest. This is fine. We'll go land. Uro. And then we're setting up to go for Bring to Light next turn. We can Bring to Light for Golos. Oh, we just drew Golos. That works too. So now we can Bring to Light for Lord of Windgrace, which might have even been better originally. Main phase plane cycling is great news for us. So which do we think is better, Golos or Lord of Windgrace? Golos gets Field of the Dead immediately, which is kind of nice. I think I'm gonna go for Bring to Light though still. We actually can't play it for all of the colors, but we can play it for 4 colors and just get Lord of Windgrace. This is a lot worse against Spell Pierce, I guess, but okay, luckily they don't have it. So we'll grab Soul of Windgrace. I think this is better than Giver of Runes. Right? Turn this, pass. The next turn we can go for Golos if they tap out. If they don't tap out, I don't know if I want to just jam into their open mana, but we could. But they are sort of incentivized to tap. Okay, they just take out our Soul of Windgrace, fair enough. Still a pretty good exchange for us. And then hopefully we can resolve the Golos. Do they tap out? They do. Looks like they do. True Name Nemesis. Yeah, that's not too scary. I mean, it's a good card. We can't interact with it really, but we can just go over the top of it and ignore it. Golos for Field of the Dead, then crack this for another land, and we'll be off to the races. I think I'm actually just gonna oust this Giver of Runes. I can't really oust anything else. Um, and this is mana efficient and also just like breaks one of their draw steps that's coming up. And now we can just start spinning Golos if they don't do anything. And if they do something, we still have plenty of action. So I like this position a lot. It's certainly not over, but they only have two. They have 2 cards and 3 lands. We have 3 cards and 7 lands. So just have like way more resources with Uro waiting in the graveyard, ready to come back later in the game. And we're just going to be making tons of zombies off of this Field of the Dead. I haven't triggered Field of the Dead in a little while until this game, or this, yeah. Actually, we triggered it once last game, but it was past the point of no return at that point. Hopefully this game we're able to get a little bit more value and actually turn that into a victory. They could have balance. That would be a disaster. That's probably the one card we really need to avoid. And now that I've thought of that, we should try to play around it to the extent that we can by putting Planeswalkers into play. I'm still just going to spin Golos, though, if they let me untap with them. It's always a good feeling. So much free value. Fairy bounce Golos? Okay. That stalls for a turn. Colonnade 2, that's kind of annoying. Do we want to sacrifice one of our zombies to kill their Teferi? I think the answer is yes. Don't love it, but I think that's worth it. Rafine's Tower, okay, so let's go. Just replay Golos. I think we just want to get a land here, definitely not Prismatic Vista, so we'll get, doesn't matter too much. I guess I kind of want more blue lands. We actually have no more blue lands left in our deck, though. That's fine, let's just grab, like, Arid Mesa and plan on getting Scrubland with it. I will send both of these at Teferi. They can eat one of them, but then pretty good spot. We're gonna just go super wide. I mean, they do have this True Name Nemesis to keep on blocking, but we can just keep on putting more and more zombies into play. Interesting that they're attacking. This might mean a board sweeper is coming, but we can rebuild pretty quickly. Oh, Main phase Timeless Dragon, that's interesting. Alright, so let's crack this. I don't really want to draw Scrubland here. Draw, good draw. Spin Golo, so red, green, colorless, um, black, white, blue. Leave up, yeah, this seems fine. Um, wow, okay, so Prismatic Vista is just a brick, but okay, they just concede, yeah. So we're play Omnath, draw another card, play Fetch Land, gain 4 life, make some mana, play Kaito, play Renegade Rallier, bring back another land, hit them for 4. Like, they weren't dead this turn, but they were dead. Okay, so 1-1. Do we want to make any changes here? Mother of Runes is probably worth playing, honestly. They have a few removal spells. I think I stand by the not playing Sylvan Library. Tribal Flames looks okay. It's like not the worst against Timeless Dragon. Actually, I might cut Bring to Light. It was good there, but it's expensive, and it also is very bad against Teferi Time Raveler. Yeah, that seems fine. I'm also kind of tempted to play another basic land against the deck that has Path to Exile. I might actually cut um, Prismatic Vista, even though it was our first pick. Yeah, this just seems a little bit like a liability in this matchup, especially if the games go long. So, do we want to just play another basic then? Yeah, I'll play one basic island. I think that looks pretty nice. And then we're losing a green source and a red source. We're gaining a blue source. We're also gaining another land for Lorien Revealed to find. Okay, interesting hand. I think it's a keep. Once again, a little heavy on the lands, but Thoughtseize into Leyline Binding is a nice disruptive start. We have Field of the Dead. We have we don't have green mana, but we have all of the rest of our colors. And yeah, I just think this is a keepable hand, although not a particularly exciting one. Opponent's on 6. Our best draw would probably be something like 3 mana Teferi. That's just such a nice curve. Thoughtseize into Binding into Teferi. So we need to lead on Badlands because that is the only land that then we can play Tundra and have 4 different land types. This is kind of great. We have 4 of the original dual lands in our hand. Not bad. This hand would probably cost like thousands of dollars in real life. If Giver of Runes again, whatever, we'll just take that out with the binding. Interesting. Is that better? No, no, we should still definitely thoughts use them. Um, I don't care that much about any of these cards, to be honest. Definitely not taking Path. I think I'm just going to slow them down, just take the Selfless Spirit. The Elite Spellbinder doesn't do too much. Well, either one eats a removal spell, but this one is just like a little bit. It makes them use 3 mana instead of 2. Interesting draw. I'm going to hold that and hope to be able to cycle it. Okay, I'm going to oust this here, I think. Um, and then next turn we can. Well, maybe we were supposed to binding it. It could go either way. Then the question is, do we want to cycle Lorien Revealed? Or just hold it up? There's the Spellbinder. Yeah, so if we don't draw Forest, we cannot Leyline Binding here, assuming they take the binding. Which I think they will, but that's fine. We can afford to take a hit for 3. Looks like they're debating taking the Lorien Revealed, which would be interesting. Then that would prevent our ability to cycle it. and it would make it just a 7 mana play. So it kind of remove like if they take this, it just stalls it for a turn. If they take this, it stalls it for a very long time. But I also just think they probably don't really care about Lorien Revealed. We did draw the forest, so I guess I'll just do this now to take it out. And then they're going to draw the Giver of Runes here. So they have Path Giver, one unknown. So basically both players are top decking. This should be a good position for us, but it is a high variance position. If we just draw 3 lands in a row and they draw 3 spells in a row, we'll probably lose. But there's a Teferi, so that's pretty excellent. Let's play this and pass, and then next turn, we should be careful to make, like, I don't want to draw Mountain and play Mountain here, but if we can just, oh. Okay, Fairy Mastermind is pretty annoying, actually, because that lets them draw cards when we draw cards. Yeah, that was actually that was their last card, and it was one of the worst things for us that they could have had. Still seems like a decent position. We'll see what we draw. Okay, they thought card themselves. Sure. It's holding Path and one unknown. Yeah, this is pretty awkward, actually. 'Cause I really don't want to let them draw extra cards, but I think I do need to just do it anyways. So I will just play the Teferian Plus. But tucking either one doesn't seem good, and plussing also doesn't seem particularly good. Really hoping to find a way to kill one of their creatures. Plus, Fairy Mastermind will let them draw an extra card as well. Okay, that's a good draw. We're going to have both Teferis going at the same time, hopefully. They can send both of their things at our big Teferi, but he will still survive. Their Path to Exile is looking pretty awkward. We might also get to a position where we actually do cast Lorien Revealed in a couple turns. Our life total is not super high, but it's not super low either. And if they're spending all of their attack steps dealing with our planeswalkers, they can't really kill us. We're hoping to exterminate the last Alaskan. Kind of a fun name. So they send. Do they attack with? They don't attack with Giver of Runes. Wow, that's crazy. I don't think that's a good play, but um, I understand where they're coming from. Okay, I'm gonna start by playing Teferi of my own, or my other Teferi. They have Path and one unknown. Okay, I'm just gonna plus this one now. Like they're gonna get to draw a card off of this Fairy Mastermind this turn no matter what. Ooh, nice draw. I think I will just bounce this Giver of Runes here. They can kill our little Teferi, and I'm not too worried about that. They give it pro red. Interesting. That did work, I guess. Um, okay, so let's just go Territorial Kavu. I'm going to play Spar's Headquarters here so we get our second blue source. And then next turn we turn our Field of the Dead starts going off. Yeah, I think it's pretty much over at this point. They can path our Territorial Kavu, but we'll just make another 2/2 and kill their Fairy Mastermind, and we have both the fairies going. It feels good to have both the fairies going. As if you watch my channel for a while, you know these cards are. I've played a lot with them in the past. I had a lot of success with them in Modern. They're not, at least this one is not as good in Modern as he once was, but he's still pretty good here, and I think we'll be able to take this one down pretty soon and move to round 2. This deck seems great, honestly. We have such a good suite of threats that draw cards, tons of removal, great fixing, Field of the Dead, which gives us some late game inevitability. Interesting that they're sending this at that fairy. We'll take it out either way. So they're holding Giver of Runes, Path to Exile, and 3 unknowns, but I can't even really. I mean, maybe if they had Fractured Identity, they could get back into it. Alright. Giver of Runes, yep, that's fine. Caracas, also fine. That does actually answer a lot of our creatures. So it might be a bit challenging to actually deal 20 damage, but I'm not too worried about it. Oh wait, no, with Field of the Dead it will not be hard to deal 20 damage. So they have 2 cards. If they, I don't even know what they could play here for 4 mana. That would be too relevant. We'll see what they got. Murktide Regent, that's, I mean, it means we have to lose some counters off of one of our Teferis, but that's fine. So let's just go, I'm just going to cast Lorien Revealed here. Okay, good draws. Let's tuck this. Plus here. I think I'm actually going to hold off on playing the Renegade Rallier so that we can just get max Omnath value. So I'll just put this into play, make another dude. And I'm not even going to attack here. We could hit for 2 damage, but I think I would rather... Like, I don't want to lose this Teferi. I think we could win without it, but it would just get a little bit more tricky. Okay, there we go. So we take down round 1. I think that... Yeah, that was game 3. Alright, 1-0. See you in round 2. Alright, we lost the die roll for round 2 against Tonga. Tange. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but... Unfortunately, we probably got to ship this. If we draw another land in our first 2 draws, it's pretty good. Definitely has a high upside, but I think we just want to have at least 2 lands. Okay, this hand looks a lot better. Let's keep and put back Basic Mountain. It's a little bit greedy, but we're on the draw. We have 2 lands still. I think it's fine. Yeah, and all these other cards look nice. Ooh, okay, good draw. Let's just get Spar's Headquarters into play on turn 1. And then this gives us red, and this can get us black, and we'll have all of the colors. If we could play turn 2 Deeproot Wayfinder into turn 3 Teferi, like bounce their thing, make sure they don't have removal, start ramping, that would be great. I guess either one of these Planeswalkers would be a nice follow-up after the Wayfinder. Playing against a blue deck, so they might just counter our Merfolk, and that would be fine. We have 3 good threats, so we can just keep on jamming them, and eventually they'll probably run out of answers. Opponent's deep in thought over there, probably deciding if they want to hold up counter magic or develop their own board. They decide to hold up counter magic, which is fine. I'm still just going to jam into it. So, Merfolk Scout, what are you going to do about it? With only 2 islands, they're not really representing removal. So that means cards like this are actually relevant threats. Like these red decks don't really care about Deeper Wayfinder because they can just burn it, but if they let this resolve, they might have a hard time taking it off the board, which would be great. I mean, if we get to start ramping every turn, it's going to be very tough for them. And then in terms of what lands to get, we don't have... I would love to be able to get a black-white land because... or we need to get a second land that's either blue or white for Teferi. And I want to get a first black source, but we don't have like a blue-black land, I think. And this can't get a black-white land. So we're going to have to basically be missing 1 color at the end of this. We'll see. It depends on what we draw. Okay, they do let it resolve. That is interesting. They could have Dismember, but if they just untap, I feel great about that spot, because then we'll be ahead on board, and the onus is kind of on them to do something. Whenever you play against a deck like theirs, being slightly ahead on board is a big deal because you want them to have to respond to you. If the board is even and they're just hitting land drops and holding up their counters, then like you have to just like play your cards and write into their answers, and they can usually deal with your threats pretty easily. But if we're able to like, yeah, if they like kill this, then we get to play this, then they kill this. Like each one of our threats actually gets to resolve first. Okay, them having Mox Ruby is scary. They have 4 mana. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Okay. That's not the worst. We can kill it, but it's not the best either. Let's go. Okay, Scrubland was a nice draw. So we're just going to kill their Jace because I definitely do not want them to have this in play. And then just play land and replay the Wayfinder. We could have also played Uro into land Burst Lightning, but I think I would rather have a creature in play than an extra land here. Either way, we can play one of our threats next turn, and this way we get like an actual threat. Okay. This card is not that good. Although it's good to know about. It's definitely good to know that they're playing this. Um, so this only triggers when we deal damage to a player or a battle, not when we deal damage to a planeswalker. So unfortunately, I think that actually means we need to just go with their face here. So let's crack this for Badlands. No. Just get. Trying to make sure that I'm going to have all the right colors because we need blue, blue, green, white. Wait, actually, no. Deeper Wayfinder doesn't even put the land into play untapped. So, in that case, which one of these? Maybe we just play Kaito, actually. Yeah, I think that actually is the line. So let's just grab Rafine's Tower, then attack their face. This can kill a Planeswalker. Destroy target creature Planeswalker. Yeah, I can kill both of those, actually. That looks great. So leave that on top. Then we'll say yes to return the Arid Mesa. Then we'll play Kaito Shizuki. I think that's a little bit better than Teferi here. Maybe not though. No, I think it was good. Kaito plus draw the Molten Collapse and pass. And then next turn, this can kill both their Jace and their Mox Ruby potentially. And we can play Teferi first to protect against them having counter spells. Okay, I don't. If they just play their own Deep Root Wayfinder, that's fine. Into their own Teferi, bouncing ours. Okay, that's also fine. It's a little bit worse, but not too concerned. So that's a good draw. Let's go crack the fetch for Tundra. And I'll play Teferi. Let's make sure we tap correctly. So we need to leave up red and green, or red and black. So white, blue, whatever. Yeah, this works. So bounce this. We'll go these two to kill to do both. So kill your Jace and your Mox. I'm gonna make a 1/1 here. I don't care that much about looting. We could loot, but it seems fine. And then we'll just go land pass. And now we have two planeswalkers in play. We have it's kind of close. It's not like we're not way ahead, but I think we are slightly ahead. They also have so many planeswalkers. Jeez. Narset, two Jaces, Teferi, but we're fighting through them. We have 5 mana here. We have Prismatic Ending, which can deal with a lot of stuff. They just concede? What? That's so weird. I mean, alright, I'll take it. It seems a little preemptive. So they're like very heavy blue control. They might be playing the Doomsday combo. I don't really know what they're splashing for, but yeah, we didn't see any black cards. I don't want to have too much creature removal. Definitely don't need Oust, but I think Burn that can hit their Planeswalkers seems pretty good. Flametongue Kavu seems like it could be maybe not good enough. I think Rampaging Raptor seems quite a bit better. So we want Wild Nacatl just for cheap pressure. Yeah, against their deck with all the Planeswalkers, Nacatl looks good. Then we could cut... Could cut Bringlight again against the Teferi deck. That's probably correct. And then do we want to play like a Sakura Tribe Scout or Crucible? Go in that direction a little bit more. No, I think everything else in the main deck looks good. Yeah, we'll run it like this. Okay, I like this hand. No fetch land, so that makes the Deep Root Wayfinder a lot worse, but we have all our colors except for black, which is our smallest color. Good mix of lands and spells. Drawing basic mountain there is kind of weird. I don't want to draw Prismatic Vista and have it not work, but it's fine. Let's just go land. Merfolk Scout once again. And then this can get a black-red land next turn. Okay, they leak our dude. That's totally fine. Main phase Brainstorm. That's kind of a weak play. We can go for. Do we want to use our fetch land or hold it for Omnath? I do like holding it for Omnath in general. Ooh. Yeah, we should still play Teferi this turn though, I think. But yeah, I do want black mana, so I'm gonna crack this for. Oh wait, we could also just get Scrubland. Maybe that's better. Okay, do we want our third white source or our third red source? I guess that's actually what it comes down to. And I think the answer is third red source when we have Rampaging Raptor in hand. So I'll take the Badlands and then play Teferi. Force of Will? Sure. I'll take the 2-for-1. Pass again. Interesting draw. So we can't play. I think I'm just going to jam the Raptor here. It's bad if they have exactly Subtlety, but if they counter this, I think that's okay. And just playing Thoughtseize is very mana inefficient. So we'll hit for 4. And this is like a real clock. It's going to kill them in 4 attacks or faster. If they don't do anything, I'll just Thoughtseize them and then hit them for 6. It's a little salty that they drew too many lands. Fair enough. It is frustrating sometimes. Do we want to? We can just play Omnath. Yeah, I think playing Thoughtseize Omnath seems better than playing Teferi since they could have. Oh, they just concede. This opponent likes conceding early, I guess. Yeah, 3 lands in hand. That is frustrating. But yeah, 2-0. See you in the finals. All right, on the draw against Ace 777777. I apologize, that was an extra 7, but hopefully you can handle that. This hand looks okay. Field of the Dead is a little bit awkward. Well, actually, it has some problems. We don't have black mana, and Field of the Dead cannot cast Omnath. I think I'm still going to keep it, just because it's a good mix of lands and spells, but we don't have interaction in the early turns if we top deck poorly. I'm going to lead on this rather than Field of the Dead, because I want to leave open the possibility of Witherbloom Command on turn 2. Another hard control deck, it looks like. Okay, I think I will just sequence the Field of the Dead now. It means we can't play Omnath on turn 4, but it looks like this is the kind of matchup where we'll be taking our time. And I'm pretty happy to play Draw Go and just put lands into play. Typically that favors Field of the Dead decks. Interesting. Yeah, I'll just Tribal Flames this for 4. That seems fine. So blue, white, red, green. Yeah, this works. We could wait an extra turn, but what I really don't want is to just like pass and then they counterspell our Flametongue Kavu and then they just start like snowballing value with this. It will be awkward if they don't play another creature for us to kill with a Flametongue Kavu. Alright, we'll just play this and pass. Hull Breach. Oh, okay. I wanted to Burst Lightning that in the end of my turn. I'll Burst Lightning it now. And maybe this is fine. Like, if they counter this, what really kills, if they counter this and then play Time Twister, it's just GG. But if this resolves, we're fine. And if they counter it, and then we get to untap and play Flametongue Kavu, it's actually even better for us. Yeah, okay, this works great. Yeah, they get a 2-for-1 there, but now then we get a 2-for-1 right back with this Flametongue Kavu. And we get to be ahead on board now, which is a pretty big deal, as I've mentioned, against this style of control deck. Still no black mana, but that's okay. Next turn we can jam Omnath, or play Bring to Light for 4. That doesn't seem too good, though. I think we're just going to play Omnath. Sure. Hit for 4 and pass back. Brainstorm, not too worried about that. I do want to draw some lands here, especially a black land or a fetch land. A lot of mana over there. Okay, brainstorming to preordain so they can scry the 2 cards that they don't want to the bottom. Some nice card selection. It does look like they're mono blue, which makes me a little bit afraid of upheaval. Man, we really need a black land. Is there anything we can do here? I don't think there's anything we can find off of the Bring to Light that would help us that much. I mean, we could. Yeah, there's not really anything. Okay, I'm just gonna play this again. I hope it resolves, and I hope I can find a black land off of it. If they flip their Jace, not great, but also not the end of the world. They have another counterspell. Oh, that's annoying. Can we please draw a land? We cannot draw a land. All right. I mean, they bounce our thing. That's fine. In fact, that's kind of good for us. They have no cards in hand. Wait, what? I don't understand their deck really. We'll attack for 4. I mean, our hand, we have 7 cards in our hand. They have no cards in their hand. But we just don't have lands. If we find a black source, I think the game basically ends on the spot. Oh no, they had Time Twister. That's so frustrating. So now we're very behind. It's certainly not over. It depends on what they drew. And we did finally find our black lands, but I mean they went from 7 cards to 0. Now it's 7 to 7. Interesting. They strip mine, taking out our Spars headquarters. I'm honestly happy to see that. True Name Nemesis. I'm not happy to see that. And they likely have counter magic up. Yeah, their deck looks pretty bad to be honest, but I think they will win this game because we kept on missing our lands. So hopefully this works with the Bloom command. Kill this and kill this. Yeah, they have the remand. That sucks. So do we want? I think I would rather kill their Jace here than their Fairy Mastermind, or than playing our Sylvan Library. So yep, we'll pass. They have 5 power. We have 4 power, but they just have so much mana. They are playing a lot of creatures, so I like that. I like having all of our creature removal in. Okay, play with a Bloom command. That's not too bad. Not great. It does kill our Flame Tongue Kavu, but then we can just kill it with a Bloom command. I guess this True Name Nemesis will be a problem. We need to find some life gain soon. That's a good draw. So with a Bloom command, same plan, but they're likely going to have another counterspell. This is exactly the situation you don't want. When you're behind on board against a control deck, it just feels almost impossible to win. Now they get Cryptic Command, and I'll honestly concede to that. Yeah, alright, so they got game 1. Should be a good matchup. We just need to find lands. Do we want to make any changes? I think I want to lower my curve against them, try to get under their counter magic. I want to keep all my removal. Sylvan Library is good. It's bad against Hull Breacher, but it's good against the rest of their deck. I definitely want Little Teferi. I think I want the removal. I think I want the big creatures. I might just cut Bring to Light again. Yeah. Okay, we'll run like this. So they're just like mono blue tempo. A lot of creatures with flash, a lot of counter magic. Oh, no lands. We had a pretty weirdly consistently hard time finding lands. We'll keep this, put back Leyline Binding, I think. Pretty good curve here. Buy you into, turn one Wild and Cattle into turn two Territorial Kavu. We'll start to hit pretty hard. We do need to find more lands. That's a common refrain. Maybe we should be playing more than we are. Hard Evidence. That's weirdly good here, but not that good. Okay, Scrubland is a nice draw. That helps. We still don't have blue mana, but we can get this Territorial Kavu down, which will be the biggest creature on the board for the whole game, probably. Next turn we can play Scrubland and then swing for 7. And I'm just going to discard this Field of the Dead. I don't think Field of the Dead is really our plan here. We're going more on the aggro plan this game. They just play land and pass, alright. So let's get Scrubland out there. Go to combat and swing for 7. Just going to discard this Field of the Dead. Okay, Sylvan Library is a great draw. It's very likely that they counter it, but that's a fine exchange. If they're countering our Sylvan Library, they can't crack their clue. And also, they're at 13, and we have 6 points of burn in our hand. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And now this is the spot where Time Twister is just terrible. Like, it's only good when you are ahead on board, or at least not behind on board, and they're quite behind on board here. Chrome Host Seed Shark. Okay, don't really care about that. Okay, so that can get a blue land. It can. Oh, yeah, we have a blue-red land. So let's play this. Attack with both. I think I'll discard Stomping Ground here. Oh, I guess maybe we're supposed to crack this fetch first. Um, okay, they block like that. Oh, we actually don't have a blue land to get here. So if we want to play Fiery Confluence, we have to get bad lands and just not have blue. And I think that's fine. Or, you know what? No, I don't even care about playing Fiery Confluence here. Let's just get one of these tapped lands. I guess we'll get Spar's Headquarters and just play Sylvan Library. This is fine. We don't need to worry about this Chrome Seed Shark too much. Like, yeah, they can make some artifacts with it, but they don't really have the mana to turn the artifacts into creatures yet. They play the One Ring. Okay, that is actually scary. That's actually a good card here. Um, their life total is a little low, but not low enough for my liking. We take 2, that's fine. Untap. Let's see what we got. These are pretty bad. I'll pay. Are we okay with paying 8 life? Not really. I think I'm just gonna pay 4 life. Maybe we could pay 8 life. No, no, let's pay 4 life. So I'll go like. And then the other question is which one of these things do we want to discard to the Territorial Kavu, if anything? Maybe we just discard Thoughtseize. No, I think Thoughtseize is good. I'll discard Renegade Rallier. So we'll go like top, pay 4 life, attack with this. close. We could have just put the Thoughtseize back. All right, and we'll play lands. We'll play Neshoba Brawler, which is 5/3. So we have 13 points of power, and they're at 13. So, like, right now they need to do something pretty drastic. They're also taking a damage here, but they have a ton of cards in their hand. They don't have that much mana. So I think we're in an okay spot. Especially with Fiery Confluence in our hand. Okay, don't like seeing Mox Emerald. Now they have 6 mana. Oh no. Please tell me they don't have a Time Twister here. They have Time Twister here. Alright, well, that is game. Almost certainly. We lose our entire hand. They get 7 cards. They have 7 mana. Yeah, that is exactly what they needed there. It's still not 100% over, but they just have a massive resource advantage. Actually, it probably is. Like, if we top deck exactly Fiery Confluence immediately, I think that's pretty much our only out. Jeez, really going Snap Time Twister here? This is just so many resources. I mean, the whole Breacher Time Twister combo is a good one for sure. I am honestly shocked to be losing to this deck, but yeah, that's how it be sometimes. So they draw a whole new hand again, get 7 more treasure tokens. So they have 8 mana. What if we top deck Fiery Confluence? We could put them to 6. Then the ring puts them to 4. That could win. Probably not though, because they can just make all these tokens into big creatures. Yeah, the Chromos Sea Shark ended up doing a lot for them. Okay, that is certainly not attack. This raised our chances of winning from like 0.1% to like 4%. But still, yeah, that is not going to do it. Do they have Vendilion Click? They do. All right. Well, tough loss there in the finals. Again, I think if we play this matchup 100 times, we win like at least 70. But they get us there, which is part of the game. That's why you play the game. The 2-1 couldn't quite get the trophy. Obviously, would have been nice to do so, but this deck was sweet. The Field of the Dead plan was genuinely good with like Golos, Uro, Renegade Rally, or just lots of, and even like Soul of Windgrace to put extra lands into play. Tons of removal. So we were good against creature decks. We had Burst Lightning, Tribal Flames, Molten Collapse, Witherbloom Command, Fiery Confluence, Flame Tongue Kavu, Leyline Binding, Prismatic Ending, just like tons of ways to kill creatures. And a fast clock too, with like multiple two mana creatures that hit for 5. Yeah, we didn't have counter magic, so we couldn't really interact at instant speed, and that was like a bit of a liability in the last matchup where we just like try to play our 4 mana thing, and they remanded it for 2 mana, and that's just a pretty tough exchange. And then anytime you play a deck with this many colors, you're going to lose some games to your mana base. So even though we had excellent fixing, we lost game 1 of round 3 because we just didn't have the black mana. We had like 2 or 3 black cards in our hand that we could just never play for the whole game. That sucks. I definitely dislike that aspect of the game, which is why I pick land so highly to avoid it. But it does happen sometimes, even if you have 16 non-basics. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.